Alright, here's the notes for section 7.5, and in this section we're going to be finding the volume of composite shapes. So they're going to be two three-dimensional shapes stuck together. So here's the first one. It's kind of an L-shaped block, and I'll explain what all this writing is here in a minute. But basically we have one rectangular prism and then another one stuck on at the end. And the way I divided it was along this red line here. So I cut it into prism number 1 and prism number 2. You could have also divided it this way if you wanted, and you'd get the exact same answer. You would just have slightly different dimensions. But when you found the volumes and then combine them to find the total volume by adding them up, you would end up with the same answer. So what I'm going to do here is, again, I'm going to divide it up this way. And then I got to find all the dimensions that I'm going to need to find the volume. So what I did here, so this side is 10, right? This length is 10. So that's 10 here and 10 up here. So that's where I got the 10. And now if you look at it, I need to find this length here. So that is this whole distance across the bottom, 80. Take away the distance from here to here, 60, and that's how I got 20. So it was all of this, take away that to give me this missing piece. And then this height here is 60. So I have all my dimensions for box number 1. And remember, to find the volume of a box, we're just going to multiply those three dimensions together. Okay, now for box number 2, I needed to do the same thing. So I have 60 here. Okay, there's my length. I know that my width is 10. Now I got to figure out how tall it is, or the height. And that is going to be 60 from here, take away 40 to give me what's left, which is 20 for that piece. So 60, this distance, take away 40, that distance, gives me what's left, which is 20. Okay, and then once you have all those dimensions, all you got to do is find the volume of each box and add them up. So for box number 1, I'm going to go 60 times 20 times 10. It's just, we're just multiplying those three dimensions together. So 60 times 20 times 10 is 12,000. Okay, box number 2, the volume is also 12,000. They're not always going to match like this. It's just a coincidence. It's just what happened with this problem. So here I'm going to go, again, 60 times 10 times 20. So length times width times how tall it is here. 60 times 10 times 20, and I get 12,000. And to get the total volume, I'm going to add those two up and get 24,000 cubic millimeters. Again, don't expect these to be the same when you break it up. It just so happened that I chose a problem where they were, but that's not always going to be the case. Again, so when you have an L shape like this, break it up into two boxes, find the dimensions of each box. Okay, you might have to do some subtraction to do that, to get all your dimensions, and then find the volume of each box and add those volumes together to get the total. Okay, so you'll have a worksheet where you're going to do a bunch of these. So hopefully they're not too bad. Again, break them up, find the dimensions, find the volume of each box, and then add them up. Okay, let's look at a couple more. Here we have a slightly more complicated one. We have a pyramid on top of a box. Okay, so let's find the volume of the pyramid first. So this is a square-based pyramid, and the 6 is how tall the pyramid is. I know usually the ones that you've done on your assignments have had like a dashed line inside to show the height, but here they put it on the outside. So the volume of the pyramid is the area of its base, so 4 times 4 because it's a square, times how tall it is, and then divided by 3. So 4 times 4 times 6 divided by 3. If you work that out, you get 32. Okay, so that's the pyramid. Okay, that's this. Now we got to do the box. And then we're going to find those volumes and add them up. Okay, so the box is just length times width times height. 4 times 4 times 5, which is 80. And the total volume, pardon my messiness here, is going to be these two numbers added up. So 32 plus 80 is 112 cubic inches. So just again, break them up into shapes that you know how to find the volume of. Find those volumes, add them up. Okay, one more here. Now this one is a cone on top of a cylinder. Okay, again, on your assignment, use a calculator for these. You'll have some 3.14, some pi to deal with. And so we'll find the volume of the cone first. So that's this guy up here. So it's pi times the radius squared, so pi times the radius, which is 5, times the radius again, another 5, times how tall the cone is, which is 4, all of that divided by 3. So pi times the radius times the radius times the height divided by 3. And when I do that, I get 104.67. Okay, there's the cone. Now we got to do the cylinder, so down here, and that is going to be pi times the radius squared times the height. So 3.14 times 5 times 5 times 10. And when you work that out, you get 785. And again, to find the total volume, we add these two up. So we take the volume of the cone plus the volume of the cylinder to get the total volume, which is 889.67 cubic centimeters. So that should get you through your assignment. There'll be a worksheet with those L shapes on it like I did before, and then there'll be some like this on there too. So thank you, and please let me know if you have any questions.